Thanksgiving, MAGA. No, I didn't say happy Thanksgiving. I said Thanksgiving. In fact, I hope your turkey is just as dry as your old lady and your gravy's burnt, all right? And I hope you got one of them butterball turkeys from that Arkansas plant there so that you can get some extra protein in your diet. But anyway, no, I didn't say happy. I just said Thanksgiving. Thanks for giving our democracy and our freedoms away to an authoritarian autocrat dictator, Donald F. Trump, okay? That's right, you don't believe in democracy. You don't believe we ever had one because we got a constitutional republic. I remember now. And that's just because you're not very bright. But also, in case you don't think he's trying to make himself a dictator, he's doing it right in front of your faces. He's telling everybody, purge the military of anybody who's not loyal to him. Avoid doing any kind of background checks on that corrupt billionaire actual saute cabinet that he just installed, right? Don't do that. Also, there's things in Project 2025 that allows him to circumvent the legislative branch of government. And he's already talked to Congress about trying to find ways to keep him in power after 4 years. So yes, in fact, he's trying to make himself a dictator right in front of everybody. Hey, but somehow I think that you like that. To you, it's all a game, and you won the game of democracy, didn't you? Checkmate. Never have to vote again. You got your guy in there and broke the system, and now we got us a dictator, so you win, right? That's what it's all about, right? Owning the libs and winning, right? At any cost. Well, anyway, that's just because, again, you ain't very bright. Now, we're about to get hit with the big old tariffs, and the way you can look at that is it's a sales tax on us. Dang sure is 25 to 35% sales tax, because when that importer in the United States has to pay that tariff to the federal government, they're going to hand that cost down to us. Therefore, sales tax on us. And yeah, we're keeping our income taxes too, So we get a 25 to 35% sales tax on everything we purchase. And guess where that money's going to go? To billionaires. See, that's the reason why Trump's doing it, so that he can finance those $4 trillion of tax cuts that he's planning on giving to his billionaire buddies that he just filled his cabinet up with. And that's on top of the $3 trillion that he did the last time he was pretending he was president. So they're reaching in our pockets, in our bank accounts, and taking our money and giving it to billionaires. Why is that so hard for you to understand? Well, maybe because Daddy Vladdy's had you bent over so long, squealing like a pig, didn't even need a pillow to put your face in because your face was busy gobbling on some Cheetos, right? So while you were looking over there, they have been planning the whole time to take money out of your bank account. And that's exactly what they're going to do, because they got you focused on some transgenders and stuff like that. Hey, I know y'all think that these tariffs are going to bring manufacturing back to the United States. Hey, the 80s called, and they want their world view back, okay? This ain't the 1980s no more. We don't have the infrastructure for mass manufacturing in the United States. Hey, fun fact, there are manufacturing facilities inside of China that are larger than most cities in the United States. There's one that houses 350,000 workers there. They actually live there. So we don't have that kind of infrastructure here in the United States for mass manufacturing. And what little manufacturing will return to the United States will be fully automated. Okay, you ever heard of AI and robots? Because Elon Musk has, and he's already said that within the next few years, he plans on having millions of robots in our labor force. Okay, so get out of the past, all right? This ain't the 1980s. Okay. Oh, speaking of the 1980s, how many of y'all grew up listening to Motley Crue and Cinderella, Poison, Twisted Sister, Now, that's a bunch of young men dressing up like women and serenading you, How many of y'all turned gay because of that, huh? How many of y'all went and had gender reassignment surgeries because you listened to a bunch of men dressed up like women serenading you? Huh? So you worried about drag queen story time in public spaces to a handful of kids, right? With their parents' consent. And here we were back in the 1980s listening to a bunch of young men dressed up like women serenading millions of people, and lots of us without our parents' consent. Hey, and it didn't make us gay or cut our wieners off. See? So that fascist Russian propaganda had y'all focused on the smallest things that affect you none at all, while you weren't focused on what they were really getting ready to do to all of us. Okay? That's how that works. And again, Thanksgiving. Thanks for giving our democracy and our freedoms away. And again, I hope you got one of those butterball turkeys there from that Arkansas plant so you can get yourself some extra proteins today, all right? Inmate Trump.